This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details. And just in case you missed it, it's the top 5 sports talkers of the day. Now, it's time for Dan Barrero's Top 5 at 5. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
Are you a big doubles tennis fan?
I am. Yes.
I've never been able to quite get into it. I don't know. Maybe I haven't given it a chance. I don't know.
Because you don't know a lot of the players. That's the issue.
That's probably a lot of it. You're right. That's
is
probably
you don't
true.
know.
Yeah.
And that's why the U.S. Open specifically.
It's on right now.
I
want to watch Kornheiser and Wilbon, and I can't because they're being preempted by live doubles. Is this mixed doubles? No.
I have a different ESPN on. I think they had the women's doubles on earlier. So let me see here.
This is women's, I think. Yeah.
Can I give you something?
Women's quarter.
You might be interested in? Well, yeah, that's Taylor Townsend, who's like the number 1 player in the world.
Okay.
And then, this is what I was just going to say. This is what you want to watch. That's Venus Williams
That's
right there.
Venus, yeah, you're right.
And that's the best story of the U.S. Open right now. At 45 years old, most hardcores don't even know she never retired like Serena did, a few years ago. Older sister Venus has been dealing with a bunch of illnesses and injuries the last few years, but she's just continued to kind of try to keep herself in shape and play. And this summer she reemerged, played a couple of singles tournaments, and now they're on this mythic run to the U.S. Open quarterfinals. And right now they're getting woodshed by Taylor Townsend and her partner.
Which Williams, I just saw in a commercial last 2 or 3 days doing the commercials for one of the deals where you inject yourself to lose weight.
Probably Serena.
Would have been Serena?
Yeah, I think it would have been Serena.
Interesting.
So anyway, this is their.
By the way, is there a reason that every one of any commercial that involves, with it and wow, new, cutting edge medication the commercial has to be a musical? Have you noticed that? Where they musically attempt to pronounce the name as part of the commercial?
Like Ozempic?
Yeah. What's that all about?
Because you'll remember it.
I see. Well, but I don't, because they all do it, so I don't remember any of them. But anyway, go ahead.
You're not just humming Ozempic?
No,
going
I'm
down
not.
the hall every day?
No.
Some people are.
Okay.
So anyway, Venus, this is the best story. Top American Taylor Fritz plays Novak Djokovic tonight for a spot in the semifinals. That will be fun if you're interested in tennis. Actually, if you're just interested in sport, because Djokovic is
makes sense.
38 years old. He looks like he's going to pass out every match so far. He's had a medical timeout, I think, every match in the U.S. Open.
What's he milking? What's he got?
He's 38.
I thought maybe he also had some illness.
He's had a back. He's had some other stuff, but he just keeps on winning. The dude's like a cyborg. So we'll see if the top American can get it done tonight at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Lynx got it done last night, 96-71. They rout the Dallas Wings. Nafisa Collier does what she does, 25 points. Natisha Heidemann, 20 points and a career-high 10 assists. That's her first double-double. The Lynx are 32-8. 4 regular season games remain, Dan. And the question has been answered. Kayla McBride, or not answered, the question has been asked. Kayla McBride rested last night.
Yeah.
And our guy Chip Scoggins wrote about it today. The rest versus rust conundrum for the team that has locked up the number 1 overall seed. They continue to beat their own record for victories in a season. What do? Collier missed time because they were up by 100 against Vegas, and she was still in the game. Sprained her ankle and was out a couple of weeks, right? What do you do coming down the stretch?
Well, the question is there any concern at all that if Collier rests a lot, that in terms of the MVP voting, given the total number of games she will have missed, how many games has she missed for this season? 10?
I don't know if it's that many.
So if she misses 5 more and you're 15 out of a 44-game season, no question she's the MVP or she's been the best player, but at what point do some voters say, well, that's too many games to miss? Now, I don't even know, what the feeling is within the league in that regard, but to me, that would be the only reason to consider not sitting her because she sat so much. On the other hand, as you say, there's nothing to play for at this point other than making sure you don't lose your mo, as we like to say in the business.
And that's the big question. I wanted to give you their next game here quickly, and then I got to find my next one. I've got too many browsers open. Thursday, against Vegas on the road. They've got 3 games on the road and then wrap it up against Golden State a week from Thursday, September 11th. Had the Micah Parsons news broken for sermons on Sunday? Not the news that he was traded, obviously, but the news that he's been dealing with this back thing.
If it did, I didn't acknowledge it because I wasn't aware of it.
And that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Yes, it's an interesting twist that I had no idea was among the possibilities. Because I lost myself in his eyes like everybody. I said, well, this is unbelievable. This guy's the best impact defensive player in football, for God's sake, in his prime.
You called it Reggie White 2.0, basically,
Potentially,
right?
Yeah.
However, he might be out.
They're going to shoot him up like his back so he doesn't feel all the pain?
Yeah, and 5 days before he was traded, the Cowboys basically prescribed him, I think, prednisone. The one that you've been on before for your vocal maintenance issues, right?
I'm assuming in this case, though, it'll be a little bit higher dosage for via injection.
The two of you would probably use the same dosage. Micah Parsons and you.
Sure, I don't think there's any question.
I'm not sure, but that's an interesting wrinkle, right?
Yes.
In the Micah Parsons story.
Well, did anybody, because no one, if people are now saying, oh, we all knew it, then why wasn't a bigger deal made of it when folks were evaluating the deal itself?
It's an L4, L5 facet joint sprain in his back. And as you said, he will possibly receive an injection before Sunday's game against the Lions at Lambeau if needed to help him play.
He's got to play. But, I mean, if you're shooting him up,
that's it. You don't want to do that too much.
How chronic is it going to become? I knew nothing about this. All right, I don't remember hearing anything about this. And as I said, again, that's dereliction of duty if the same jackals who are commenting on the deal, reporters, and saying how one-sided it was or how, the Jerry Jones is an idiot, they don't at least put in the equation the possibility that maybe they viewed him as a guy with very damaged goods. Now, I know some people have reported that he's just being a little dramatic himself, but if you're talking about injections,
right,
that's more than drama, isn't it?
I would think so. And you can't do injections all that often.
I don't believe so.
There has to be a point where you either let it heal, and week 1 would seem like kind of a dumb time to start the injection process. I know you were worried about this. Just give you some NFL nuggets as we go from the weekend because we were off yesterday. The Power Trip did a show. We were best of like everybody else was best of. Matt Stafford is expected to start Sunday's opener against the Texans for the LA Rams. That another feather in the cap, Dan, of the Immortal Chamber that we talked about a couple of weeks ago before the State Fair.
Must be, yeah.
The Immortal Chamber helps Matt Stafford get through training camp. He's barely practiced, it seems, but Sean McVay telling reporters yesterday that he's expected to start. So set your fantasy lineups accordingly.
Can't wait. And by the way, like I said, I think the current line in Bears-Vikings is Vikings by a 1.5. Is what I saw.
Yes, that's what DraftKings had when you asked about it earlier today. The Bears opened as a slight favorite, and the money's been been moving. And you also asked for the weather. It's going to be mostly sunny in Chicago that day with a high of 70 and a 70%.
That's not bear weather.
A 70% chance of a flonami. Just remember that.
You love that.
Like you walked right into that's my new lumpy with you.
That's true, yeah.
Because you looked at me like 70% chance of
I thought
what?
you were going to say like heavy rain or something. Flonami.
Well, it could be. I don't know. Well, it's a flonami.
The one concern there, regardless of the weather, quite frankly, is the turf.
Always.
It's always a mess, and that's the question. Will they try to purposefully make it a mess to slow us down? But the problem is this slows them down too, doesn't it?
In theory, they're used to it. That's what we always say.
That's what we say, at least, yeah.
How many guesses would it take you to guess tonight's Twins starter?
It's actually, I heard it. It's isn't it Simeon Woods Richardson?
Very good, correct. Yeah. You got it. Against Davis Martin, the Twins looking to even the series against the Chicago White Sox.
I think we've lost 3 in a row against them, haven't we?
That sounds right.
Yeah. They
lost yesterday. The Twins did. So the 50 and 88 Chicago White Sox took a 1-0 series lead. First pitch, 6:40 tonight. It's Simeon Woods Richardson opposing Davis Martin.
All right.
Davis Martin.
We actually might get later into a little bit of baseball because I'm very confused by the ball guys' reaction to a specific Twins, I guess, achievement. has me very puzzled, but we'll save that for a little bit later. Is that it? Oh, that's all you had. Okay, I thought maybe there was one more.
11 and a half.
We're fine. We're close enough. Jonny Athletic, by the way, at the bottom of the 5 o'clock hour. Friend Tebow Eric reminds us that you can find video of the basketball clip that includes the exaggerated laughs that we love to play into oblivion on this program on YouTube under the title Laugh or Cry from 2011. Thank you, Tebow, for exactly.
So it does go back.
That
2011.
That's when. Maybe I heard it a long time after that, but probably not that much longer after it. This field, I'm telling you, no one's talking about this turf thing, but they're going to after the game. I guarantee it. I did not know. Are you aware that indeed Soldier Field is they're putting in new grass, new turf at Soldier Field right now after that same stadium played host to not one, not two, not three or four, but 5 consecutive concerts over Labor Day weekend.
Are you nuts?
Happens every time.
I know. They're always putting new turf in.
It's unbelievable. How can it possibly work? Especially because the Chicago Park District is notorious for mismanaging over decades. The grass, the turf, artificial turf, real grass, Colorado sod, whatever they put in there, over and over and over again. So I guarantee you it'll end up being, we better bring a lot of different cleats. It's going to start coming up in clumps. Now, if it's not raining, that'll help some.
Right.
But it could still be ugly. I mean, we were talking about, I think one of the crowds was Oasis performed in front of 52,000 fans on Thursday.
That's big.
52,000.
And I bet the floor was packed.
Are you familiar with any of these other group names? System of a Down.
Yep.
Avenged Sevenfold.
I don't know them.
The Lumineers.
Yep, the Lumineers. Brian Oak, big fan.
My Chemical Romance.
Oh, yeah.
And then Oasis is the only one that I've heard of. In all, 5 concerts, 5 days, 250,000 in attendance total.
And with that, I need to go. I do appreciate
it'll be fine. The turf will be fine. And I guess, I think O'Connell was asked about it. Let me see if I can find, claiming he isn't too worried about it. Well, there's not much he can do.
That's what KOC says.
Yeah, I mean, what's he going to say at this point? According to WGN TV, crews will spend this week transforming Soldier Field by laying sod ahead of the September 8 Bears-Vikings opener. How will field conditions be Monday night? Well, last year before the Bears' preseason opener against the Bengals, which came the week after Soldier Field hosted back-to-back Metallica concerts. Here's the quote then, from, I guess now, relating to a year ago on that occasion, from Bears left guard Tevin Jenkins. I didn't like it at all, really. It was a little slippery in some parts, and then some parts were sticky. Oh, good. That's just great. That's just beautiful. The issue before last year's preseason opener may have been due to the sod being laid less than a week before the game, but the same thing's happening here, right? Well, I guess a week before the game, I guess it will be. But
that's still not enough time to really settle in.
Why is it that? Well, I know why it's that difficult. It's too much money to be made on these concerts, right?
It's a lot of money.
But the Bears are moving to Arlington Heights anyway. It's not even going to matter. Regarding our discussion about how things have changed when it comes to decorating your dorm room from being once upon a time mix and match, make it up as you go along, find stuff left behind the dumpster or near the dumpster, to now you got to win an award. You got Pinterest ideas. You got parents.
You're calling Chip and Joanna.
Yeah, and you got parents coming in with hiring interior decorators for their kid, that kind of thing. I just love the X exchange that took place. This started with a tweeter named Sam. He writes to both of us, roommates and I, with a photo as proof. Roommates and I built a stadium seating theater room in our college apartment, completely out of stacked couches.
It's a great picture.
Found behind a dumpster. It's tremendous. And standard issue bed frames. Smelled terrible, but wouldn't have traded it for anything. So among the replies, Tweeter Beth, where did you go to college? Because this looks super familiar to me. Sam writes, Bethel, circa 2010. Okay, writes Beth. Never mind then. Just know there were dudes at Augsburg doing the same thing, although I went to St. Kate's. Sam replied, oh, yeah, I'm sure we weren't the first or last to dream something like that. It was the best. How good is that?
Well, the best part of the exchange is that both of those individuals used to intern here.
Is that right?
Like 50 years ago.
Oh, my God.
The best part. Yeah, intern Sam, better. Intern Beth.
Okay.
The best part, because when I saw Beth say to Sam, this looks familiar, I had to write back, oh, boy.
Oh, how good is that?
Like, look out. And it's the best.
How good is that? That's outstanding. Jonny Athletic will be coming up in about 10 minutes. This is from, what's the moniker here? Endless Summer Guy. PA asked KOC about the turf. KOC scoffed as if it could possibly be an issue in an NFL game. Well, I mean, KOC should know better than that. If you spent more than a cup of coffee at Soldier Field, you know it's problematic, man. It's been an endless problem for decades. Where was the couple others I wanted to get to related to our ode to a dead guy? I should have. Here it is. Go ahead. You were going to say?
No, just while you were searching for it, I'd forgotten. I was reading the Star Tribune obituary on Raveling that he got a lot of credit for brokering the MJ endorsement deal.
That's true.
In the early 80s.
Worth mentioning,
right?
Yes.
Because Jordan wanted Adidas, as the story goes, right? Because he wore it.
Yes.
I mean, they made a movie about it with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and Sonny Vaccaro, and apparently George Raveling was a big part of it. They had a relationship from the 84 Olympic team, and somehow was among those that helped Jordan decide on Nike, which, of course, may have changed the basketball world a little bit, right?
Yes.
The shoe world
might have transformed things
a little bit.
Well,
which is pretty
speaking
cool.
of transformation or transformational figures, beyond the racial aspect of the historic nature of his hiring back at the Pac-8, long ago, wasn't he one of the first coaches to start wearing like sweatsuits on the sideline rather than suits?
Sounds right.
I know he wore suits for a long time, and he wore them quite well.
Oh, yeah.
A good dresser. But I want to say at some point he went to these would be considered very dated today, but the sweatsuits that once upon a time were very popular.
Right.
It
could
wasn't as sleek a look as it is now.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure he did some of that too. This is from, let's check the area code here, 612 guy. Thanks for recognizing the passing of Coach Raveling. I became friends with him in 2020 through Clem Haskins and Walter Bond. Coach Raveling became my daughter's, ages 7 and 9, learning partner, sending them books, articles, and inspirational quotes. They got to meet him last year in Los Angeles. He was one of a kind and will be missed. I've never met anyone as curious and motivated to learn. That's part of what made him such a great interview. He had such a diversity of things he was interested in. The guy was fascinated. He was fascinated with history, certainly not just sports, everything. I think Majerus with us was a lot like that.
Yes, he was.
Just a very curious individual, and that was the case with George Raveling as well. So and as you say, you did remind me, we did try to get him. That's one of the regrets. I don't think we ever had him on this show. I'm pretty sure I would have remembered.
Not with me, at least.
Because George also was one of those, like I said, you didn't really have to ask him very many questions. He was just going to go. And his sense of history, no matter what the subject, and he's just a great conversationalist is what he was. And how long was he at Iowa? It was like 3 years at Iowa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 83 to 86.
I saw some story where somebody wrote, that he left a pretty significant mark, even though he wasn't there that long. But, it definitely in the category of gone as of today, but most assuredly not forgotten as well. You have questions for Jonny Athletic, you can hit the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. That is 64686. I felt like we just talked to Jonny. Well, actually, we did.
On Friday.
So we'll try to get into some other subjects that we did not explore. Maybe I'll try some hockey on him today.
Well, the thing we have to figure out first, is he going to be Coors Light Johnny or is he going to be regular Johnny?
Yeah, he was lit.
Coors Light Johnny was feisty on Friday.
I think he had a little extra juice going. He seemed a bit on the buzzed side.
He had his buddies from Blaine there.
Rosenbaum buzzed.
Not
to that level, but he had a little extra going, a little extra lilt.
He did.
Yeah, to bounce to his step. Well, we'll ask him. Maybe that'll be the first question. But if you have other ones for us, let us know. This is from Linwood Township guy, dorm room, University of Northern Colorado in Greeley, circa 2002. Accent wall was 300-ish Coors Light cans, floor to ceiling. That was a lot. There were the beer can pyramids.
Yeah,
there was a bunch of those.
Why did we do that?
We didn't. I didn't. But because mine would have been. Well, they wouldn't even been wine cooler. I didn't even think they had wine coolers then. It might have been wine.
They hadn't
bottles.
evolved.
Yeah, who knows what it was we had.
But we always did the empty booze bottles.
Yes, you had to impress
some
people.
Badge of honor.
Yeah.
Like, hey, do you see all the car coffee we drink here? Like, what are we thinking? So dumb.
Like a badge of honor of some sort? Yeah, that's very unfortunate. So questions already are coming in for Johnny. Keep them coming. Oh, there is actually one thing that I think Johnny might have written about, and I had not seen the story regarding the I guess, contractual status of Tim Conley. So we'll get to that maybe at the start of the deal, and then we'll get into a couple of other issues. And maybe I'll even get into a couple of my baseball questions with him as well. Jonny Athletic right around the corner on a lovely Tuesday here on the Fan.
It's time for Jonny Athletic, Jonny Athletic, Jonny Athletic. And he's on the Dan Barrero right now.
It seems like almost only yesterday when we were face-to-face with Johnny, kind of a buzzed, lit up Jonny Athletic when he joined us at the Great Minnesota Get-Together. What was that? Last Friday, right?
Friday at 5:15. Coors Light Johnny.
That's pretty close. It wouldn't be wine cooler Johnny, wouldn't he? He's Blaine. I mean, that's too big a collar for that nonsense. He joins us now from by telephone. And you tell me, are you as buzzed as you appeared to be in the great outdoors at the fair?
No, we've moved on. Now it's Bears week, Dan. It's time to
serious.
put all of the tomfoolery behind us.
You're right.
Focus, lock in. So I am sober and ready to go here. We'll see if I'm as entertaining as I was on Friday.
That's quite an admission. I appreciate your honesty or candor in that regard. I have described, and again, it's only Tuesday of Bears week, so I always reserve the right to change angles and reach different conclusions by the end of the week. But I really believe from a Viking standpoint, the story of this game should be not J.J. McCarthy, even though it's inevitable that that's going to be part of it for all the obvious reasons, that the story of this game, if it goes the way it's supposed to go for the Purple, is the established strength of your team, the defense, should be at least as good as last year and maybe a little bit better. And it's facing a still, even with the pedigree of the head coach in terms of great offensive mind, a largely untested, undeveloped offense that still has a great deal to prove. So that's, to me, the built-in advantage. It's up to this defense, I think, especially in week one, when the Bears are still trying to kind of put it together, to kind of say, we're in charge here, man. You got a cute little club, and you might end up being something, but our defense is better than your offense.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, Dan. And there was some discussion about Caleb Williams' preseason and his training camp performance and all of that, and a lot of suggestion that maybe he struggles with disguised defenses, and that's right up Brian Flores' alley. And so they are going to want to go into Soldier Field on Monday night and really, I think, set the tone that way. Obviously, they play the Bears later in the season, but I do think you want them early while they're still getting acclimated to Ben Johnson's intricate offense, while they're still figuring things out. And I would expect that if you're going to see a tentative Bears offense, you're going to see it in week one. And so the ability to confuse them, to make things hard on Caleb Williams, to keep that score down below 20 points, I think is going to be big for the Vikings, especially just to let J.J. McCarthy find himself and not feel too much pressure. So this is a defense that should be ready to go. We will see how the defensive backfield performs. I think that's going to be a big kind of focus of mine watching the game against those receivers. But I think the defense should be relied upon to lead the way early in this season while J.J. McCarthy is settling in.
Do you have any concern that we have outsmarted ourselves or gotten a little too smart for our own good regarding the trading away of Harrison Phillips?
You know, it's a good question because obviously he was a big leader for this team, last year, but and he was really valuable, really productive. And so whenever you're trading away guys like that, I think you do worry about it. But in this case, I do think this might be one of those occasions where you want to get some value for him while he still has value, and no one knows him like the coaches and what they've seen from him day to day, what they've seen from Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins, to kind of look at what's available and what they need. And so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they know what they're doing in this situation, especially if it did help clear a little room for Adam Thielen and for the financially and all of those things. But he was very valuable. And so I think it's not a stretch to say that he's going to be missed, but they really like Ingram-Dawkins. They like Hargrave and Redmond and everyone they got up front there. So I think that they're really confident that it's going to work out just fine. And maybe this was a case of, hey, you have an opportunity to recoup something for him as he's getting a little bit older. Maybe you get out in front of it before the rest of the league finds out that there's a decline coming.
I think I asked you Friday for a one-loss record. Let me broaden the discussion now. Who plays in the, I think, 60th Super Bowl? You had to pick today. Yeah. Who do you have?
Yeah, it's a tough one, but I really like the Baltimore Ravens. And so I'm going to go with the Ravens to win the whole thing. The NFC is a lot harder to kind of look at and come up with the team that's going to come out of it. I think it's going to be really competitive. I hate to say it, but it seems like Philadelphia is the best team top to bottom, and they're really well coached. They're ready to go. They're deep. They're young. And so I think that they're going to get back there again, and it'll be Ravens over Eagles in the Super Bowl in February.
You do have us making the postseason, though, right? On the basis of the record that you predicted.
Yes, I think the Vikings are a 10 or 11 win team. I said on Friday. I guess maybe I'm missing something, but I've seen a lot of national dismissal of the Vikings, and certainly maybe a lot of it is McCarthy related. Maybe there are some wonks that are really looking at the defensive backfield and really concerned that way. But I just see a team that has so much talent on both sides of the ball. And as long as McCarthy is good, I don't think he has to be great. But as long as he is good and not a disaster, I think this team is easily a 10-win team and maybe 11 or 12, and they get into the playoffs. And I think they can win in the playoffs as well with the right matchups, with some health. And so I do think that this is going to be a successful season, and I think this will lay the groundwork for McCarthy to really assert himself as a franchise-level QB over the next, over the long term here, and just really settle into that spot.
Tom Brady, in an interview, I think, with Chris Collinsworth, suggests that the in his prime 2011 version of Aaron Rodgers is the greatest passer of the football the league has ever seen. He goes on to say he could get the ball from point A to B faster and more accurately than any player, I think, in the history of the NFL. Astute or asinine?
I mean, I can't say it's asinine, Dan, because the arm talent is unbelievable of prime Aaron Rodgers, and certainly anyone would know it over Tom Brady. I always look at when we have this kind of discussion on just the best thrower of the football, I go back to Marino. Like, he's been the guy that I've always used as sort of the measuring stick, as a before his time true gunslinger with unbelievable accuracy and unbelievable arm strength, and the zip on the ball when it was coming out of his hand in Miami, I think is just kind of breathtaking, frankly. But yeah, you put Rodgers right there, you put Mahomes right there, I think as well. But I'm going to lean towards Marino on it. But I mean, I can't call Tom Brady crazy for making that observation, even if Aaron Rodgers isn't my favorite quarterback or favorite kind of guy out there.
You are both wrong. The correct answer is Jeff, Life's Full of Slappies, George.
I was wondering, hey, the name came to mind, Dan. I mean, that guy could sling it.
He could sling it.
And
sometimes to his detriment.
Yeah, issues and personality and all that stuff, and he was a diva and all that, but you just watch one guy just let that thing fly. Man, he threw a beautiful football. Absolutely,
no question. Yeah, I in all seriousness, I think I would lean Brady's way. Marino's obviously right up there. There's no right or wrong in this case, but I like this precise way he worded it. He didn't say best quarterback. Said the greatest passer of the football. And that's a good way to describe, I think, what Rodgers represents. Could get the ball from point A to point B faster and more accurately than any player. I might lean Rodgers' way. I'll be honest with you. I am curious to see what he has left in Pittsburgh. I saw a video from the New York Post today where it's video of Rodgers in practice rolling out. And the comment, the headline with the video is, it still looks like Rodgers can sling the ball pretty well, but his legs look shot. And it may be deceptive. It's hard to say what the point of the drill was. Maybe the drill was supposed to be half speed. He did look really gimpy to me in terms of what we think of with Aaron Rodgers' mobility. But I know a lot of people are tired of him, and I can get tired of his antics. But I remain curious to see if in this next life, with Pittsburgh, a team that does have a little bit of pedigree at least, and you think a bit of a supporting cast, whether it's going to be a complete bust like it was last year, or whether he's still got something in him. And as you know, the more he has in him, and the less that J.J. McCarthy shows early, the more we will hear Rodgers' name mentioned here as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with you in terms of being a little bit tired of just the Rodgers conversation and just him being omnipresent. But there is something very compelling to me about a past his prime former great athlete that is trying to hold on and extend his career. We saw it with Favre here. We've seen it a million times with all sorts of different people. But the way that some of these guys can summon physical performance that is just lights out just because of the grudge they're holding or what they're trying to prove or how they manufacture motivation. It can be amazing to watch. I will say that at this point of his career, and I've heard it kind of described this way, at least with the Jets, it looked like he didn't want to get hit anymore. And there is a point where these players do get to where it's just like, I do not want to get hit anymore. I'm getting rid of the ball earlier than I should. I'm just making sure that I don't suffer a big a concussion, a big blow, anything like that. So until he kind of shows that he is beyond that and he's willing to hang in the pocket or get out and run a little bit and throw on the run and take a big hit, I think that his effectiveness is going to be greatly reduced. I really do think that if anyone can get it out of him, it's Mike Tomlin. But there's certain times where an athlete just reaches that point of your body is tired of taking the punishment. And if you can't do that at quarterback, then it's going to be really hard to be great. And so we'll just have to see how that part of it plays out, because I think it'll be a huge factor in whether he can be good there or whether this is going to be Favre's last year in Minnesota type of a thing.
I was so immersed in State Fair Friday, taping the controversial Said show at the Fox 9 location, and then preparing for our show. And you were one of, I think, 4 guests on a very good Friday, our last weekday out there. I was unaware, you had already filed by that point a story updating us on the Tim Connelly contract situation. So for those who have not read the piece, what do we need to know?
Yeah, so we all know, and you and I have talked about this a lot, Dan, about sort of the uncertainty surrounding Tim Connelly's contract status for much of this summer. Last year, he had an opt-out last summer that was put into his original 5-year contract to give him some flexibility if the ownership situation didn't go the way he wanted it to go or he expected it to go. And so he built that in. But last summer, with Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowry still in a fight with Glenn Taylor, he pushed the opt-out into the summer of 2025, given you just let it all play out, let him see what happens here. And so we got into the summer, and there was the real possibility he had the ability to become a free agent. And a lot of times, sought after people like Tim Connelly, he had like 4 or 5 different offers over the last 2 years to go elsewhere. A lot of times people will use that as leverage to get a new long-term big money extension with his existing team. He did not do that. He has not done that as of yet. But what he has done is opt into essentially the final 2 years of that original 5-year deal. So he is under contract for 2025, 26, and then 2026, 27. Of course, the ownership and he can continue to talk about contract extensions for the long haul and do all of those things, but there is no immediate danger of him leaving. And from what I'm told, it kind of happened quietly earlier on in the summer. And so the Wolves were never worried about him going elsewhere, but it was one of those things that wasn't publicized. And so just nice to get that out there so fans know he's under contract for 2 more years with the ability to extend off of that at any time here.
The Powerball is up to, as of the Wednesday night drawing, that's I think tomorrow night, will be up to $1.3 billion. $1.3 billion, a fairly large package, I think that you'll agree, because nobody hit the jackpot after Monday's drawing. This is now the 5th largest Powerball game and the 9th largest among U.S. lottery jackpot games of all time. Will you buy a ticket?
I might have to now, Dan. I will say this. I never do. I'm just not a Powerball player. But I'm sure I'm one of the many idiots out there who will say, it wouldn't have been worth it to win 40 million. It wouldn't have been worth it to win 100 million. But no, now it's 1.3 billion. Yeah, now I'll spend $5 and go get a ticket or two and, however much it costs now and maybe get into it. I mean, how could you not?
No,
at 1.3 billion, you can almost buy the Wolves for that, as we just saw. So, I think now, given even with the taxes and stuff, it's still worth it to win the 1.3 billion. How about you? Are you going for it?
I bought tickets for the last 2 nights before drawings. In fact, and I think I've won. I think Giovanzi looked it up because she knows where to find the answers. We obviously didn't win it all, but I think we did win $24 on one ticket on $12 on another. I don't even know how that works.
Wow, put it right back in.
So we got $36. We just put it right back in.
You have to.
If a player wins Wednesday's jackpot, they will have the choice between an annuitized prize estimated at $1.3 billion or a lump sum payment estimated at $589 million. Both prize options are before taxes. If the winner selects the annuity option, they will receive one immediate payment followed by 29 annual payments that increase by 5% each year. So I don't know. What do the insiders say is the better way to go on that? Do we know?
You always do lump.
I mean,
lump?
Yeah.
Yeah, you go the lump sum. I think you do, even though I think we've seen it. I mean, how many people have won the Powerball and then blown it, right? That's a real thing that happens all of the time.
True.
But in fact, I feel weird saying it, but at the age that I'm at, who knows? Will I make it another 29 years? I hope so. But I'm going to take the lump sum and go with it. And even though 589, so what are you getting? Maybe 275, 300 after taxes. I think I could still make that.
Make it work.
I might buy you a subscription to The Athletic with that. with the proceeds.
I don't think you'd retire from the Athletic, though, would you?
I can't give it up. What would I do otherwise?
Not now. Now that it's not that it's become something, right? You gotta stay with it.
And you're not leaving the fan if you.
No.
If you.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I mean, here's what I'll admit. I might end Sunday sermon. I might just say, okay, I'll go to 5 days a week.
Might.
That might.
What about an hour sermon?
Well, I don't want to get.
Maybe just go 9 to 10.
Go 9 to 10. Well, and that's kind of what we do during the football season anyway. But maybe year round, 1 hour. That might be my only concession.
I mean, get busy living or get busy dying. Maybe we should pool our vast financial resources, Dan, and then we split it. Or do you not want? Are you not in on that?
I don't know if I can trust you. Are you trustworthy on that, Johnny? Because then family members
I don't
get
really
involved
blame you.
and it gets really weird. But
you guys won't even know.
In me after I win the jackpot, and anything's possible.
You guys won't even know if I win the Powerball. I'll just leave like a note that says I had to go see about a girl. I'll basically be Goodwill Hunting.
You'll be Will Hunting.
You'll
right?
come to my desk the day after.
Everything's gone.
Looking for. I'm leaving all my stuff. I'll just buy new stuff.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. You can have my program password trophy.
That little note.
I'll just say I had to go see about something, and I'm out.
That's
you won't even know.
You're done. Yeah. I don't doubt you for a minute
until you see me at the new unveiling for the Wolves arena, because I will be a minority partner. That's what you'll see me at that and go, what's Gaardsy doing here? Oh, he's one of A-Rod's minority partners now.
You might be able to buy the Lynx.
Arena. How about that? Gaardsy Arena.
Gaardsy Arena would be a good thing, too. Now, the even more important non-toy department question. What did the Jonny Athletic freshman year dorm room look like?
So I'll tell you this, Stan, blue collar bling guy, I didn't have a dorm room. It looked like my room at my house. I drove and commuted to St. Thomas my first 2 years because it's really expensive to go there.
Yeah.
And so I saved money, but I will say my junior year, we moved into a ramshackle house right off of campus, and I lived in the basement, and we called it the dungeon.
Yeah.
A roommate and I we had 2 bedrooms in the basement. The wall that separated the 2 rooms did not even go all the way up to the ceiling. So, we would talk to each other through the wall right over the thing. We had friends over, and you can imagine how that went. And so I definitely, I never lived the dorm life, but I did live the squalor of college, the house with all your buddies later on in my college
that
career.
Means a kind of a second-hand or third-hand ratty couch, right? And a couple of stupid posters on the wall. I mean, what else do you remember?
Yep. I had a Led Zeppelin Stairway to Heaven poster on the wall.
Yeah.
I had a Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey because I didn't even drink whiskey, but I wanted to look tough, so I put that on the wall.
I had a pot thing, same thing. I had no interest in pot in college, but I had to have the pot poster up because I wanted people to believe how with it and wow I was.
We're all the same.
We're all frauds.
We're all the same.
Keep up appearances. And my parents had redid the carpeting in our living room of my childhood home, and so I had my dad cut out a section of the carpet that they were tearing up, and I put that in my room because it was practically a dirt floor. It wasn't, but it was just this terrible cement floor. So I just laid that down over the
Here's my question.
And I had I had a 50-year-old couch in there and everything like that. And it was crazy. Nothing, no frills about that. That's for sure.
Now here's the test, because you're describing kind of what we all had to varying degrees. Now, I did go to had a dorm room in freshman year. I wasn't that blue collar, but we were middle class, but it was you figure out your own stuff. You find a coffee table behind the dumpster, all that kind of stuff. The question for me is the same as for you. As your kids get older and they get to a point where they're going to college, and in 3 years Giovanni goes to college, will you be frauds? In other words, will we say, hey, look, man, we're not going to send you a bunch of stuff. We'll give you a couple things to make sure, you're going to be fine, but just make do and figure it out on your own. Or will we be frauds and say, no, we're going to have the designer do your room for you. It's going to be extra special because we want to bring you comfort, et cetera, et cetera. That's the $64,000 question.
Yeah, and I'm going to need the Powerball to pay that money off because, you look at it, and the crazy thing now, Dan, is these dorm rooms that they have on campus are luxury apartments now. And you got to pay through the nose for them. And my wife and I both talked about it, and we both came up very blue collar and not having a lot of money to spend. And so, we say that, no, we want them to have that experience. We want them to know that, hey, you got bills coming, you got to have some responsibility, and it's good character building to suffer a little bit, to live, primitively, however you want to describe it. But I mean, the other thing that I had is, like, when I was growing up, we didn't have nice basketball shoes when I was playing basketball. It was just like the bargain basement stuff that we always wore. But do my kids, who both play basketball now, do they have nice shoes? Yes, they do. So it's a precursor to probably me folding like a cheap tent and saying, yes, let me take care of you. Let me make sure you're comfortable so you can learn and don't have to worry about it. I can already see it coming. I'm going to try to hold the line, but I'm not confident in it.
You'll be looking through Pinterest, and you'll be finding all these fancy ideas, and everything's got to be matched up. By the way, you mentioned the Zeppelin poster. That's interesting because I also had a Zeppelin poster up back in the obviously it'd be the mid 70s. I graduated in 78. So some things do transcend time, man. Yeah, I had the Zeppelin poster up even then.
Zeppelin and Jack Daniels, what's more timeless than that, man?
That's very true.
Yeah, but that was in my face. I mean, I'm certainly a child of hip hop of the 90s and stuff, and so that was big. But like at that time, it was Zeppelin, it was Bob Seger, it was a lot of classic rock as well. That was mixed into my musical taste.
Any yacht rock?
We got into yacht rock later.
Yeah.
We were not. I was too I was trying to be too
edgy.
Tough and edgy to go with the yacht rock, and when I had no idea who I was in 2000, 1999, trying to put on appearances. So it wasn't until I embraced it later and I knew who I was comfortable in my own skin. Now I love yacht rock, but not back then. I was hip hop and Zeppelin and those kinds of things and looking tough. So
enjoy Bears Week, Johnny. This is it. It's upon us now. The time has come.
Finally here. We've been waiting a long time. You got to be going to the game. Come on, you're a Chicago guy. It's a tough guy town.
No, those days are over. I'll watch eagerly, but I'm very curious to see. Vikings are. Somebody said that originally the Bears were favored, but now the Vikings are favored by 1.5.
I saw Kyle Brandt, who I love, on NFL Network this morning, pick the Bears to win the division.
What?
And so maybe there's some bulletin board material there. Maybe Kevin O'Connell plays that video for him and says, "Hey, this is what you're up against."
That's possible.
Let's go here.
By the way, for both of you, I was at Canterbury Park with the kids yesterday and my wife, and had a nice chat with Randy Sampson. Oh, good for me, the owner down there. He wants you specifically, Dan, to know. But now that I know Jonny Athletic is a big yacht rock guy, that they have a yacht rock review forever tour at Canterbury on Friday night.
This coming Friday?
This coming Friday night.
Wow.
He goes, I can't believe how much you guys are talking about yacht rock. You got to show up.
Well, who's playing?
Yacht Rock Review.
Oh, that's the pit. That's the name of the band.
It's the world's premier soft rock party band. And they're playing at Canterbury Park.
I bet that would be a blast.
It probably would be. That would be fun,
Yeah, he was
have a wine cooler or two.
Yeah, why not?
Get some good weather and get after it. Dan, if you go, I'll go.
It's a deal. We'll talk.
Bring a flask of Jack Daniels Tennessee whiskey, Johnny. Just like the old days.
There we go.
We'll negotiate.
I'm on it, man.
Thanks, Johnny. Be good.
All right. Thanks, guys. John
Krasinski making his regular appearance, not to be confused with his Friday appearance at the State Fair. But that's how these things happen. Back in
Country music stars Rascal Flatts are making their return to Minnesota January 23rd at XL Energy Center. You can catch all their timeless hits alongside special guests Lauren Elena and Chris Lane. Tickets are on sale now. All the details, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
All right, we'll maybe examine a few texts that have come in recently via the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. That is 64686. The National Football League regular season begins Thursday night. That's Dallas and Philly. In Philly, kind of the coronation game. Is that correct?
You got it.
And then Friday is in Brazil.
Chiefs and Chargers.
Chiefs and Chargers. I don't know what the Chargers did to deserve being in this game, but they're in it. Is that more for Harbaugh or the quarterback? Harbaugh's still, I think we feel like he's got the NFL big shots think he's got allure to him.
Yes.
And I guess he does to a certain extent. And the QB, we know he's got all the talent in the world, but where is it gone? Didn't they just, most recently last year in the playoffs, didn't they get hammered in a game they were supposed to win?
Yeah.
So that's Friday. There's no Saturday NFL game, correct?
That is correct.
There's then a regular slate of games Sunday. And that the probably the premier game for this audience, this market, would be Detroit Green Bay. That's a 3:25 game at Lambeau Field. I'm looking for. I'll watch that one.
Oh, of course.
Sure, yeah.
Yes, that's a great one.
And then Bears and Vikings on Monday Night Football.
Good Sunday night or two with Ravens and Bills. Ravens at the Bills.
That's true.
It's
Bills
a good Sunday night. Yeah. That's a nice way to lift off.
It's a very good. Yeah, they know what they're doing. I mean, they understand how to create. So because early, it's the old we got the two division games, right? Two interesting division games in the NFC North, right?
Get it going.
Why
just
wait?
Like that? Yeah.
And then I think we finish. Don't we? We usually finish in the division too. I don't even remember.
We do the last 2 weeks. We've got the Lions on Christmas Day. At home, and
that's a great thing.
We've got the Packers.
Even better.
Week 18.
And by the way, we did talk a little bit earlier about the Belichick arrival into college football and what a devastating day and night it was for ESPN because they clearly were wed to it, man. They were married to the whole concept to the point of near hysteria. And I'm guessing they felt that hysteria was justified once they saw the way the Heels started the game.
Yep.
Right? You know what all this is going to do? If it's fairly obvious that if I'm going to give Belichick more than a week. I know there's some people
I'm right there with you.
Aren't going to because I just don't think this program, whatever he might be capable of doing with it, even with Bill Belichick, it might take more than a minute or two, correct? But the not that he cares about any of this legacy stuff, but the further he gets away from the Brady glory years, the more people are going to be left with the conclusion that, yeah, he's a hell of a coach. You can't argue with that. But, man, isn't it interesting? I mean, the moment he didn't have Tom Brady, everything seemed to change.
And before he had Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't exactly lighting it up in the NFL.
So, again, I don't know what to make of that, but I do think it's good. The longer he coaches, and the criticism will be, even at the college level, he couldn't really find a quarterback like Brady, a college-level Brady, to get the thing done as well. So we'll see. And I guess there's still the open question about how long he's going to stay in it. What did you make? So Sean Salisbury, I think, is going to start with us again Thursday. He's definitely coming back this season. I'm not sure if he's going to be with us this week or next. Glenn Mason, by the way, Mason Your Faces return us tomorrow. But Salisbury noted a link to a video of Belichick's girlfriend on the field.
Okay.
And said there's no, and Salisbury's conclusion was there's no place for this during a game. Now, I thought it was during warmups. When I looked at the shot I didn't think it was during the game because the problem with it was there were Carolina players to his left and there were Carolina players on the field to the right, which makes me feel like it was workout, a warm-up kind of a thing.
Okay.
Before the game.
Okay. Not
during the game as well. Now, if it was during the game, yeah, I guess that would be fairly unusual. But if it was in warm-ups, I'm not sure it's as big a deal as he's making out of it. Do you know the true story?
I don't. I'm actually trying to pull up the video so I can look at it.
By the way, as you're looking for that, yes, to answer 612 guy, Gaardsy is back for the prediction segment on Friday. As far as we know, he's playing some contractual games, but I'm pretty sure he will be there with bells on Friday at 3:30.
It looks like warm-ups.
I think it's warm-ups.
Yeah, it looks like warm-ups. Yeah, it's definitely pregame warm-ups because no one's on the sideline. There's no other players
So
that's
the idea
not that crazy.
No, we're making a bigger deal of it because of who she is and who he is. But in all honesty, I just don't think that's. I think if it was somebody else's girlfriend or wife, I just don't think we would make that big of an issue of it on the side. Especially, like I said, during warm-ups, where I think you see all kinds of interaction that takes place during warm-ups.
Yes,
right?
There's recruits on the field.
It's not like they're necking, and it's not like it's 20 minutes of them huddling together. It looks like it's very brief, frankly.
Yeah, I don't even know what she could have possibly said to him.
I don't either.
Other than like, hey, I'm here. I made it.
Yeah.
I parked the car in your spot.
That's the way I looked at it.
There's plenty to criticize in that.
Yeah, sure.
That relationship, mostly just how much it seems like she is controlling a lot of stuff. Like,
that shouldn't have any impact on the football program. Yeah, exactly.
But that was nothing.
No, I didn't think it was much of anything either. It was his team, it was a bad performance, and it must have been quite a letdown for all the celebrities who showed up, right? Because there were a lot of them. Did you see, and Jordan had on the powder baby North Carolina blue. He had a shirt. I don't know if his pants were the same color. He had a cap.
I loved it.
The beauty of it is, of course, if you're Michael Jordan, you literally could have an outfit ordered for you that you never look at again the rest of your life. And it's
exactly
immaterial.
right.
It wouldn't even matter, would it?
And he just looks good.
He does.
No matter
he still
what.
does look good.
And the Carolina blue, it's a classic color.
A good color.
It's just a classic color.
Well, I always thought the UCLA blue was excellent too. That's also powder, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a powdery hue. Yeah, I don't know if it's straight up powder.
I like their other See, I actually like the combo color for UCLA better than North Carolina.
With the yellow, yes.
Yeah, the
it's
yellow and that powder blue is outstanding.
It's so good.
It's really, really good. Yeah, for sure.
Neither of those were any of my colleges, and they should have been just on the color scheme.
Well, they had good tennis programs too, didn't they? UCLA
and North Carolina. Yeah, that's part of the reason I couldn't probably play for them.
What are you talking about?
I did go to a UCLA tennis camp though.
Did you really?
When I was 15. Yeah, my dad had to work in California, so he took me with him.
Really?
Took me with him and let me go to tennis camp. It was awesome.
Even better.
It was the greatest.
Did you meet any dignitaries out there?
That trip?
You don't remember?
I don't think we did.
Was it on the UCLA campus?
It was at their stadium. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was just the greatest
Sounds
week
like a
ever.
good time. Let's come back, wrap up the program with a couple of texts, and prepare you for a good, busy week. We call it Bears Week, and we'll explain exactly why if it's not already abundantly clear now.
Farm Aid 40 coming to Minneapolis. Join Willie Nelson, Neil Young, Kenny Chesney, Dave Matthews, and more. Saturday, September 20th at Huntington Bank Stadium. Celebrate 40 years of music, food, and family farming. Limited tickets still available. You can get the full details at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar. The show wrap is presented by American Pressure, commercial-grade pressure washer since 1975.
It's the Bumper to Bumper show wrap.
Neil H. writes, my buddy Pietraszewski had a narrow walk-in closet in our rundown house in college that he decked out in blacklight posters and paint. I'll leave it to you to imagine what went on from there.
Good luck.
Were you a big... blacklight stuff was big when I was in college. I'm not going to deny it. I was never into it, but it was, in many of the dorm rooms, it was very large.
Yeah, we didn't do that as much. I was kind of at the tail end of lava lamps.
Yeah, lava lamps.
Lava lamps
They've
were
come
big.
back a couple times.
Yeah,
I
my
think.
kids have one.
Yeah.
My boys have one in their room. They like it.
Let me get to a couple other quick texts here regarding our back-to-school discussion, which we might continue with another story, even more controversial, tomorrow. Dan, God forbid either JJ gets hurt on brand new grass or turf at Soldier Field, whatever the hell they install. But what happens if Caleb Williams gets hurt? Would Kevin Warren be fine with his QB getting hurt on grass that is less than a week old? Just a thought. That's Adam and White Bear. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the grass will be fine this time. I just know that historically, I feel like we've talked about this before, where they go, "Oh, it's going to be fine." You know, we had a bunch of concerts, but we're just going to put new grass down, and it never takes. It never seems to work very successfully at Soldier Field. Maybe they figured it out at this point. I have no idea. But given the fact that the Vikings are there that first weekend, it is something to at least pay attention to. It may end up becoming a non-story, but I think we should go in with our eyes open based on their terrible history when it comes to the surface issues. I want to thank our outstanding guest today, Kevin Seifert, still reveling in the fact that he did not come to see us at the State Fair.
Is it PST that he thinks he's ready for the season? He's in better shape for the season because it wasn't so hot at camp?
You thought that might have been preposterous?
I had to tweet about it. That was the only thing I tweeted from the appearance. Nothing about Harrison Phillips, nothing about Adam Thielen. That Seifert is reporting. He feels ready for the season because he's not drained from watching practice.
They're out there for hours.
I know they are. He's actually right.
He
it's
might
just
be
too
fresher.
funny. It's too funny.
That's exactly right. Also want to thank Jonny Athletic. Less lit up than he was from the fair on Friday, but nevertheless, outstanding content from him between 5:30 and 6. Tomorrow, but let me get to more tonight, I guess, first of all. The live premiere of 2025 version of Vikings Country with Muss, and it looks like your guy, Theo Jackson, is the special guest. Is that correct?
Correct. Shakopee Bowl.
That's the location if you want to stop by and see them. That's live and local tonight as soon as we wrap things up. Tomorrow is a big Wednesday extravaganza. How big? How fat? Big and fat. It's the return of Mace in Your Face. First time in months. Half a year, basically, right? Or longer.
In studio, yeah.
In studio.
We called him on his birthday.
Oh, that's true. We did. I forgot about that. In addition, it's Wednesday, so Kessler will join. He's back. And Ben Lieber, who's generally going to be a Monday contributor, correct?
Yes.
But because we're in a kind of a funky week, he will be with us tomorrow on the program as well. So an outstanding guest lineup. Sean Salisbury returns as we continue with Bears Week. On Thursday, Ben Gessling and the pick segment on
with
Friday.
Kirby? Wow.
Along with Lavelle E. Neal III. What is the Packers-Lions spread, out of curiosity?
I'm so annoyed.
Oh, you can't find it? Is it off the charts?
It's not. But I'm kind of doing the podcast.
2.5 Packers?
Is
Packers are, according to Blakemore, just popped up like a shot out of a cannon in Studio C. Packers are favored by 2.5.
I was closing some of the browsers, and I had the spreads up, and I go, I don't think we'll get a point spread question in the final segment. I closed it 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, I knew the Bears one because I'd heard it or I'd read it earlier in the day. I actually looked it up myself for a change.
I trust Blake more. I'm not even going to double check.
Yeah, well, he doesn't seem concerned at all about injecting his back before he plays his first game with the Packers.
Micah Parsons.
He didn't bring up any of that when he was enthusing about it on Sunday sermons.
Funny.
And I was too, frankly.
It's a great trade.
It's a great trade.
Why wouldn't you?
If he can play.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't have to have a shot every 3 or 4 weeks. He's 26.
I was going to say he's too young to be dealing with that many injections.
A little concerning, I would say. And I had one other text I wanted to get to. This is from Clayton out of Rochester. Johnny Crypt Keeper Krasinski, milk crate furniture, and lava lamps. Did Johnny mention a lava lamp too, like you did? I can't remember.
I don't think he did, but it would be the same time period.
It would definitely fit.
He's a little older than me, so it would fit the same time period.
Also, you can podcast. People are complaining that they couldn't get the sermons podcast yesterday. I think that's been corrected by Blakemore, who was out there. That's why it was hard. He couldn't do the podcast from there. I think that's indeed up. We also had Ode to a Dead Guy today. The sad news that a legendary name in coaching, George Raveling, has passed away at the age of 88 years old after battling cancer. Spent some time in the Midwest. Oh, you know what I didn't also get to today? On this day in Minnesota history, Teddy Roosevelt attended the Great Minnesota Get-Together, and it was on its first day. Wow. The State Fair apparently used to be a lot later. So maybe we'll do some. Dan Wanasoto will give us some research on that tomorrow.
And that was.
And Teddy, 1901, I think.
But wasn't that Speak Softly and Carry a Big Stick?
Yes, that was him.
We are credited with being the location. We are so special.
And let me just say, I read the fine print. I meant to get to this earlier because I had the newspaper article that had been offered to me by Wanasoto up, and I was reading from it. Let's just say this might have been the supreme example of he likes us. He really likes us. Teddy went on and on about just how everything smells different in the West. Because then, we were the West, man. We weren't the Midwest.
Right.
And it was a smashing success. Teddy loved us. We loved Teddy. We had kids apparently chasing him as he's walking along. It was the highlight of the State Fair that year. And on the headline on the story next to it says, State Fair opens.
Right.
So we must have been on a different schedule back then.
We were, and the other thing that's crazy about it, I don't know if you got to this in the article.
No.
A bucket of Sweet Martha's only cost 50 cents. It wasn't worth it, and I laughed anyway.
Well, no,
I blew the line.
You had me, but then you were so exaggerated with the laugh that even
50 cents for a bucket of Sweet Martha's.
50 cents.
Can you believe that? For like 50 cookies.
And they were already millionaires back then because 50 cents back then went a long way.
That's why Teddy was here. It was a fundraiser. And the Sweet Martha was a big donor back then.
Somebody wants to know what we think Kessie had in his dorm. We'll ask him tomorrow. I can't even imagine.
Well, to quote Kessler from the texter who said that he went to prom with his mom, remember that?
Oh, yes, that's right.
Do you really want to know? That's what I think the answer is going to be.
What could possibly go wrong? Yeah, you might be right about that. That's for sure. All right, that's the music that usually, as I said, means fan and a man in the air. But tonight, it means prepare next for a live edition of Vikings Country. We now know it's Bears Week. We now know we are on the brink of a National Football League season. Shakopee Bowl, the location, if you want to go see Muss and Theo Jackson, who is the special guest. Do we know who our special weekly Vikings football guest is yet?
I have not heard. I have not heard. I did not get to talk to the boss today.
I think by tomorrow is midweek. Maybe by Thursday or Friday, we hope to have that information. And we look forward to the return of Mace in your face and Nacho tomorrow, not to mention the one, the only, Special K, Pat Kessler. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3.
Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the great time. We love you, Dan.
Well, go Twins. Thank you for the airtime, and I'll talk to you soon.